style, it's a little bit harder to play the disengage. You know, Ezreal, Karma, Graves, a really strong trio, but it's a little bit hard for the Graves to execute on that. But now he's being pulled in two different ways. You know, he kind of wants to go back, but he kind of wants to go forward at the same time. And that could be a little bit of a problem for CNT.
And with that, we are jumping on into the Rift for our second game of this BO3 for our third place match. We've talked a little bit about the compositions, a little bit about some of the matchups, but I want to talk about one matchup in particular, and that's the jungle matchup. Because whenever I see a Karthus, what always goes through my head is power farms really well, clears really quickly, but not the best at dueling early on. And the Graves
False.
is... Oh, is that false?
Karthus has basically got one of the strongest level 1s of any jungler in terms of dueling, which we might be finding out because Mighty Action is pretty far up in the enemy jungle, but he manages to get the ward and just walk out. But Karthus is insanely strong level 1, and that's been amplified by the fact that Time of Zafar has gone for the exhaust, which gives you so much more dueling power, basically guarantees you're going to hit those Qs. Not guarantees, it's still really hard, but it makes your life a lot easier. And that's going to be important, you know, when you're versus a Graves who's trying to kite you out. Fortunately for Timer, though, Mighty Action has gone for the Dark Harvest, so he hasn't got the Phase Rush, he hasn't got the Fleet, which are really important in the terms of the pure 1v1 with a Karthus.
Okay. So more of the burst Graves that we're going to be seeing. Maybe no early invade for Mighty Action on the Graves.
Well, no. Man.
After all of that, Doctor, after all of that.
Because he can. He shouldn't have started bot, is the sort of the issue here. Because he has the Ezreal Karma. Bolo, don't walk into melee range. They have the Ezreal Karma, which can take control of any lane. So you want to be pathing towards them so that you can play for those crabs. Now, because Time of Zafar started on the bot side as well, there is a world where this works out, where they both path up to the top side. Early on, Hamza and Tsuchisawa push in Bolo, Xiaowei, and Ming. And then once Mighty Action resets, that coincides with Bolo, Xiaowei, and Ming pushing the wave back off their tower, crashing in a big wave, and they go for a coordinated invade onto the Gromp. That's an option, but it's also a bit much. You know, it's a good idea. It's a really good idea. It's objectively the idea, but it's asking a bit much, right? So we have to keep an eye on that. Reborn going very low, losing a potion as well as Mako drops both his summoners.
There's a shield! Ooh. Reborn with the outplay. Somehow, that was a huge shield from the Way of the Wanderer. Conqueror stacked up as well.
Yeah, just getting away with that one and picking up an early kill as well. Very big in this matchup. Meanwhile, it looks like J Chopper is the one pushing the wave up on top. Let's have a look-see, because Hamza and Tsuchisawa are backing off. What's going on with the top wave? J Chopper, yeah, it's relatively even, but Mighty Action gets to the crab first, electing to skip his Gromp. So Time of Zafar backing out of that one. He knows that the Graves is there because he took the blue plant, so he'll be backing off and going to play for the bot crab instead. As now it's a little bit worrying for J Chopper. They saw Mighty Action take 2 plants on this side of the map, and his wave is not in a good spot. Kind of needed Timer to help him crash this one, because now he has to walk up.
Yeah, Rookie just a little bit too far away to be able to collapse onto Chopper, though. Chopper is low on mana. And,
yeah, this is tragic for Chopper. He has to just lose his teleport here because he didn't call Timer to help him push that wave. He has not really got the mana here. Doesn't be too far up. Rookie, I'm bullying him too much, but it's still kind of scary for J Chopper, as Missy can just go back for the Gromp he didn't take earlier and then maybe try another gank on top lane if Chopper tries to push this wave through and isn't really fast enough. Meanwhile, the crab eventually secured by Timer on the bot side. I'm going to keep a rogue eye on the minimap of top lane just to see what's going on, because right now J Chopper basically can only farm with his Q. Has to be scared of that Graves. Now that he's dropped both his wards, he's feeling a bit safer. But he's still missing out on creeps because of how safe he feels like he has to play. And you don't really want to be down this many CS when you're playing the early bully versus the tank. Especially bearing in mind that Rookie's got a lot of creeps waiting for him inside that wave.
I want to talk a little bit about Micah, though, because this is now the third game that we've seen him playing on the Kiana, and each game it feels like his performance has had, well, a bit left to be desired, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been a bit rogue. Bot lane, Bolo Xiaowei takes a little bit of damage, but feels relatively safe, has the cleanse even if he doesn't have any mana, and yeah, Mako not getting that early kill hurt him a lot, and you see he wants to try something a bit more this time around, whereas before, you know, he went for that 1 kill at level 6 and didn't really work for him. So this time it's like, okay, I'll try to leave my advantage before level 6, because Kiana's pretty strong pre-6 as well. And unfortunately, he doesn't get it as Ming. Trading flashes.
Tether flashed away by Hamza. Oh! Bolo Xiaowei, he had the flash, he had the cleanse, but no, he gets too aggressive. A lockdown by the Binding Eclipse. So flash forward from Mighty Action will be able to pick one up in return. The teleports come through from the 2 top laners. Hamza knocked up, and so is a Chopper. It's a double kill for Mighty Action. Call of the Forge God will not find the knock up. The spell shield used fantastically well by Chopper. And it is 2 kills for 1 in the bottom lane in favor of CNT.
Yeah, you can see the plan there for Bolo Xiaowei. He thought, okay, I'll get autoed, I'll get ignited, I'll cleanse the ignite and I'm out. But 1 auto from Suchizar is enough to take him down. And that's a lot of kills going over. And oh, Timers Afoot was clearing out his Krugs during this. Double TP comes down, he just resets. And that's a massive wave on top. And it's just going to no one. Doesn't freeze it, doesn't clear it out. That's so much XP for the Karthus that's just lost. If you're playing Karthus at any point, this applies to most farming junglers, but Karthuses take it to the next level. If your lane gets solo killed, you're happy about it. You're like, nice, free wave. You know, you don't care.
But no, hang on, I'm gonna stop you there. You're like, no, you died. What a shame.
Oh no, unlucky. I guess I have to go catch 3 waves top now, push up, get a plate as well, get the 4th wave when it comes in because Ornn's still at the play bot. Like, there's actually a world where if Timers of Fur pushes out top lane and basically gets 4 waves at the plate, that ends up being worth it, even though they lost the exchange on bot.
Well, that's a death sentence. Lay waste. Hamza picks up the kill. And that's just Ming playing way too aggressive. I guess a little bit kind of representative of Ming's performance at Worlds last year.
True. Here's the strat from Ming. It's not a good one, but here's the thought. Timers of Fur didn't go for that wave on top. That must mean that he was bot, or maybe Krugs during that play. So he can't be bot now. He must be top. But he wasn't, as J Chopper has to flash out.
Ooh, end of the line. Ooh, the healing from the level up. But not enough.
Yeah.
Another kill.
A level up. It was a time warp tonic, you fool.
Oh, was it? I don't know. I saw him healing, and my mind just thought, oh, how can someone heal? Oh, he leveled up.
Yeah.
He leveled up.
I heard the little, like, noise.
Well, because I was also thinking, right, if he was level 6 beforehand, why didn't he just use a paranoia from the get-go?
For what?
I mean, they can't see him, right? And then you can go, like, creep. I don't
stand
know.
next to him. He kind of needs that thing. That thing's pretty important.
Yeah,
Reborn.
Yeah, it is.
We'll get combos.
Flashing in, and that is a supreme display of talent and a half. We do like our fights over red buffs here, don't we, Doctor?
We do. Like, Reborn, you can't be contesting that one. You don't have the boys with you. Even Timers Afar is not trying to contest that. He's not trying to punish it either, though. Again, Timers Afar just clearing out his own jungle whilst Mighty Action takes away the Herald. So, a lot of opportunities not being taken here by PFT. And that is something to be worried about as Mighty Action really starts to get the snowball going on this Graves. You know, he is going for a lethality build. We can assume that much because he's got the Dark Harvest.
Right.
And that's something that snowballs real hard, real quick. However, again, we look at the comp for his team, and they kind of want the longer fight. Again, this is kind of the weird part because you want to be playing versatile when you have the Ezreal Karma, but you know, the Kiana wants to just be going all in all the time, and the Ornn wants a front to back. So he's very much locked into one build that does one thing. Mighty Action's build only really works with Mako's game plan. It's not going to look too great when, you know, Ming and Bolo Xiaowei have other ways that they want to take the fights. So we'll need to keep we'll keep an eye on that one. He's not going to be as much of a frontline as some members might like. He's not going to be draining as much or black cleavering as much, but he will be doing a lot of burst, that's for sure.
The CNT, a pretty, well, an opening 10 minutes that they can be fairly happy with. A 3-0 Graves for Mighty Action. He's got the Serrated Dirk, he's got the Vampiric Scepter. He's also got himself a Rift Herald that he can drop within the next 4 minutes to pick up some extra gold as well.
Yeah.
It's looking decent for them.
Now, Mako needs to be a little bit careful here. You know,
Okay.
the Requiem and the Paranoia both available. Mako doesn't have the Flash. Everyone involved knows this. Which is why Mako was playing so heavily, you know, just sitting in that bot river, losing a lot of XP because of it. But this is a good idea. Nocturne looking to get in position, and Casters will just take the XP from top.
And here we go, the Paranoia in the focus. Supreme Display of Talent gets a lockup, but the knockup comes through from Reborn. The last breath, well, it'll be Mako's last breath as they will return to the fountain dead.
And that is great coordination there this time around for PFT. You know, the Nocturne has to ult away from top lane, so Time as a Fool can go and get that whole wave, get all that XP, still be involved in the kill, and now Rookie in a bit of trouble. That's a bit of a fancy juke there. Tsuchisawa not going to try for the flay. Thinks maybe he's just a little bit too out of range. Goes for the hook instead and gets absolutely clowned on for it, as now the Ornhorn is deployed and Time as a Fool, no flash.
The lethality is just too big from Mighty Action. He takes the double kill. And what looked so good from PFT, the Gankarino mid, and almost a successful Gankarino back top, turned so well by CNT, and it makes all of that work that the Positive Friendly team did absolutely worth it.
Yeah, they don't really get too much from it now. Bolo Zhao Wei using the cleanse as well. He's too scared of Hamza right now, as he should be down 20 CS. Pretty down in items, and now down in health as well. The Oma comes out, the Gravitum connects
Gravitum with a lockdown, and now there's no cleanse at the auto.
Ooh.
No, he doesn't have a Binding Eclipse available. That was very close to Bolo Xiaowei tying.
Very, very close. He loses the flash, but Hamza blows both summoners as well. However, this just means, again, more CS leads going for Hamza. That's like an extra, you know, wave and a half of advantage he'll get, as well as a plate. He might as well have gotten the kill for all it's worth.
I'm just looking very...
Oh. No, okay, I got confused for a second. I thought Ming was on his team, and I thought Ming was about to yoink his plate gold.
Oh, okay.
Cringe.
Bad Ming.
But no.
Bad Ming. But no. I'm very carefully looking at the timer because we're 12:30 minutes, 12 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. And that means that there's only a little bit over a minute for Mighty Action to be able to get the full use of that out of that Rift Herald. And that Rift Herald is going to drop soon. And it looks like he's going to give that gold over onto Zhao Wei.
Yeah, deploy it on bot lane, create some pressure, make his face known down here, all in time to set up for this Infernal Drake, which, you know, there's a lot of people in this game that would not mind having an Infernal Dragon on their side. Bolo Zhao Wei maybe a little bit far up here. Has to be careful that Tsuchisawa doesn't take the cone, but that Drake is at half health, and Nocturne's looking to flank.
There's a teleport coming in as well for the side of CNT. Is it going to be enough? Supreme Display of Talent. And Mighty Action picks up another, but Paranoia coming in and will be able to pick up the kill onto Mako. As out comes the True Shot Barrage. All chaos going loose in the river, but so many low members from PFT. And they will get run down. They will get taken down. And they will be slaughtered like fishies in the river.
And that's just a clean fight through and through for PFT. And honestly, there's two things here that get me about that fight. One, Time as a Fool prioritizing getting his whatchamacallit, item.
Dark Harvest?
That's the one.
Oh, okay.
No, his Leandries.
Yeah.
And so he bought a Fiendish Codex for that. But he's the sole AP threat on his team, and his comp is looking to do a little bit more early. You know, you're the only AP threat. You have this Yasuo as well as the Nocturne. What most Karthus players like to do is just get the Sork Shoes in that situation.
Almighty, where are you going, you quick
buddy.
one? You can't get over the wall. Who gets the shutdown? Hell yeah, it's time as Karthus.
How much was that? 900? Something like that?
Yeah, I think it was 900.
Quite see it. It was a lot. But
yeah.
Anyway, back to flaming the man that just got for 900. Not too much flame.
Okay,
but still.
yeah.
If he has the the Sork shoes there, he is doing so much damage than the Fiendish Codex. You know, you look for, in competitive, look for quality over quantity with these ults, right? CDR doesn't matter because you're only ulting at something like Drake every 5 minutes anyway. On top of that, he dies and just instantly pops the ult. And you have a window to get like 3 Qs off before you pop the ult. And it sounds like it's not a lot, but I think if you put those 2 factors together, that's like maybe 2 kills. Yeah, if he gets the extra like 4 Qs off that he would get before dropping the ult, you know, onto the exhausted Mighty Action, who can't really dodge them very well, and they're all doing more damage because of the Magic Pen, and the Defile is doing more damage because of the Magic Pen, and then the ult does more damage because of the Magic Pen. Like, see a world where that could have worked out, but it didn't.
I'll be honest.
It's a useless tirade, I'm aware.
A lot of Magic Pen, more damage.
Yeah.
And that sounds good to me, more damage. So
look, he's got some pen now. Now he's in the chilling spot. I'm just saying there's a way we get to this world without going 5 for 1 and losing the Infernal Drake. However,
I mean, to be honest, I think he was just taking some advice from Reborn's Yasuo. Reborn's like, look, the ultimate strategy on Yasuo, you know, you go 0-10, enemy team thinks you're useless, and then you pop off. So he's like, says, look, do the same thing, buy some useless items, then you get all of your cool items in one go, and then you pop off.
Big spike, that's true. That's why Yasuo's do about like component buying stuff, and when they finish like 3 items at once, and they get like a Zeal and everything.
It's why we saw Reborn completing the Executioner's Calling item, pardon me, in the previous game before taking the Infinity Edge.
Yeah, that must
but
be
it didn't
the one.
work that game.
It didn't quite work out that time around. Either way, Time is for now where he wants to be. However, Mighty Action very much where Time is for does not want him to be. 2 items finish up on that Graves, having the Collect and the Eclipse. That's so much damage that's coming out onto, you know, just like every member of the PFT side here. We've got 2 cloth armors, and that's the only bit of extra armor between the whole team. You know, Such is sour on the Thresh.
Full of the foot god. This might be the turnaround. The focus is going to be onto Suchi Sao, but they just can't quite get close enough. And that's going to be the ultimate coming out. Hamza gets taken low from the collateral damage, and now he's just going to look to burn through Rookie. Rookie might be unCCable, but
Requiem.
he is a killable. Another kill comes through. Requiem, Mighty Action falls. Double kill for Time as Afar.
You see Mighty Action desperately trying to find something to smite. But Zafar gets them both, puts a lot of stacks there on that Mejai's, claims the shutdown of Mighty Action as well, and that's going to be huge. Time as a foot, again, the sole AP threat on this Karthus. Any gold that you have that you can choose where it goes, you should be putting on to the Karthus here. As the tower taken down, not a lot Ming can do to stop that one, and Drake coming up in just about 50 seconds. Makes for good resets across the board here for PFT. And let's see, what did he come back with? Picked himself up another Fiendish Codex and finished off the Seeker's Arm Guard as well.
Now, Doctor, as you may know, I like to do a lot of sim racing casting. And that's because...
Yes. I thought you did sim racing
they turn. Yeah, they do a lot
in
of turning.
3D as well.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm an expert at turning. And I can handedly say that right now I feel like this game is turning and possibly going into the favor of PFT.
Sort of, somewhat. You know, let's not count our eggs before they've hatched, but they can be happy with the situation that they've made for themselves. You know, they're still down a tower, a bit of gold, still a very big, very scary 2-item Graves that they'll have to deal with. But if Mighty Action goes down, the fight looks a lot better. To continue to flame Time as Zafar's choice of build, never mind. I was going to say, he got himself the Codex instead of a stopwatch when his ult's not coming up before the Drake does. But then he just goes and gets the 4 Zhonya's anyway. He was close to the Zhonya's, so he clears out a couple of camps, and he will have the Zhonya's now for this Drake fight. Won't quite have the Requiem unless they can stall a little bit, which is not really something that their comp is built for. They are lacking in range, but that's a good way to start. A little bit of poke.
A little bit of poke back to Ming. Whatever you can do, I can do better.
All right.
Seems to be the general consensus from the side of CNT.
Chopper has ult.
They do have ult. Who will
we need to go, though.
Break down to 1,000 HP. It has been secured. Call of the Forge God now comes in. Wind walled away by Reborn, and that's the entire engage.
Wow. And they're just going to let it happen. I think that's a good fight. to go for if you're PFT there.
Timer doesn't have enough Dark Seal stats. That's what's going on. He's waiting to get 10. Then
Waiting
he
to get
goes.
the Mesh Eyes. Got to buy the Mesh Eyes before having the big fight. I mean,
Exactly.
I think that's a good fight for PFT. If you can get the lineup, you get Chopper, you know, to go in onto Missy Action and preferably not get one hit in the process. They have a really good team fight if they can dive in. Preferably they want to take that fight before, because, you know, getting a Cloud Drake, getting 3 Cloud Drakes on this team.
Oh no!
Oh, hang on.
Oh no! Timer goes pop, and that's a
no.
shutdown coming through. The Requiem will do diddly squat, and now there is a Baron on the cards for the side of CNT. Hamza has a huge chakram stack. Red and white do not fight, but is the Ophelia strong enough to pull off
no, he's
a
going to run out of ammo.
4v5 fight? He might just about. Ming healing up with the honey fruit. Tower here. Death Sentence will be able to connect. Hamza doing his best, but he's just going to get knocked up, and now Maiko is just going to go in, look for the assassination. Hamza now goes in. He drops the ultimate, able to find one. Almost finds the second. The burn's not going to be enough to pick up the kill as J-Chopper steps forward, looking to get onto Ming.
Graves is alive.
Find onto Reborn. Ming still surviving. Reborn flashing over the wall, but Reborn will find the last breath, will find the kill. Ming able to lock down Chopper in place and run out to safety. The Graves will survive, but crucially for PFT, they deny the Baron.
Oh, and Graves gets away. Reborn not able to take him down. That might change.
This ain't done yet.
Might be, but buddy, you can't be looking for that invade. It's a bit rough. He's got a
Oh,
lot of
that's
damage.
a lot of damage. That is a huge amount of damage. The taunt or the fear comes through. Chopper will pick up the shutdown. To be honest, I think PFT are happy with that 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, they'd rather get the gold onto Reborn if they have the choice, but
True.
Chopper picking up the shutdown, always a big deal. I think there's actually a world where they're not happy with the 1-for-1 if their plan was to do the Baron immediately afterwards. Because you don't have to kill Missy Action, you just have to get him low enough to force him to recall, or to stop him being able to get in range.
I see that.
But with Reborn off the table, you know, a very big damage threat is removed for PFT, and they can't rush the Baron. If that was the plan, they're not too happy. But other than that, you know, they did get the shutdown. Missy Action now sitting on 3 items. The Wind Wall from Reborn did absolute work to stop him from basically getting a double kill instantly in that last fight. But also, that fight goes really, really, really different if Time as a Foot doesn't ult instantly after dying. You saw how low Ming was. You just get 2 Qs off on Ming before you ult, and suddenly that's a pretty dead Karma. But also if he just doesn't ult at all. It's something that a lot of Karthus players do, and some, you know, Gangplank players, Twisted Fate players, anyone with a massive long cooldown ult, where they just sort of ult for the sake of it. Or, ooh, Hamza, alive, but you know how it is when people flash when they're going to die anyway.
So strong, though.
True.
I mean, it's why Thresh is strong.
Well, Thresh basically gives Hamza range, if you think about it, because Hamza can walk up a lot closer than he should be allowed to. But yeah, the point is, Time is the Foot, don't ult just because you're going to die. If he had that up when the fight was an actual fight, as opposed to 5 people on full health, maybe it goes very differently, because you start farming Dark Harvest procs and so on and so forth. Keep an eye on that one. If he does that again before like another Baron fight or another Drake fight, that will be a game changer. Right now, though, the Requiem's back up, and Reborn is running for his life. Reborn wins this 1v2. They have Requiem. Ooh, maybe not. Wasting the Wind Wall.
Maybe the turnaround, because Tower and Timer are here as well. The gold is practically dead even at this point. I mean, it is even, as PFT are on the verge of taking the gold lead for the first time in the game. And we have a Drake up in 40 seconds time. Surely that's going to be the focus for both teams over the Dragon right now. Over the Baron right now.
Well, I mean, it's only 1 Cloud. I'm pretty happy to take the Baron. If that's a trade that's offered to me, I'm okay with it. I think we might be tunneling it a little bit here because, you know, ooh, Nocturne Karthus, you know, Ornn Kiana, Cloud Drake good, Cloud Drake go burr. But at the end of the day, 1 Baron is better. One Cloud Drake versus a Baron. I'd kind of rather have the Baron.
Yeah, Baron go.
But Reborn, 2 items. Got himself the Infinity Edge. This time round, he's got a lot more damage. Again, 2 items for Time as a Foot as well. Drake started.
Barrage comes through. When does the fight engage? Well, the fight has engaged, and the dragon is secured by Timer. And meanwhile, look how much time Rookie is buying. The Requiem comes through. Paranoia into the backline. Moonlight Vigil not quite going to be able to connect. Neither will the Tornado. And it will be 2 kills for 1 in favor of CNT. As PFT now looking to potentially turn this one back around. Rookie going in, finds a 2-man knock up. The death sentence comes in. Sao doesn't want to go back in, but look at the damage that Hamza is able to put out. He's got the scythe pistol. He's got the fire pistol, the Infernum. And that will be the fight drawing to a close.
There's another shutdown from Mythic Action. This one going over to Hamza. An extra 300 on top of the 300 he was already getting. Always good for Aphelios as they make their way over towards the Baron. And they should be able to get this maybe uncontested. Mako coming over, but he doesn't have the ultimate.
And even if he did, can he even use it against Reborn's Wind Wall? Two-shot barrage denied by the Wind Wall. Rookie is on his way. Baron down to 2,000 HP. There's no jungler, and that's going to be a death sentence. That's the Baron going over to PFT, and surely they will find 2 kills as well. Mako able actually to take down Tsuchisawa as the Call of the Forge God does come through. And that's going to be Jade Chopper getting taken down. Maiko solo. He's going to be forced to run for the hills. And overall, it's 2 kills for 1 in favor of CNT. The PFT get what they wanted, and that's the Baron.
PFT get the Baron, but at least 2 of them are removed. Bolo Xiaowei taking a little bit of damage there. Worth noting, the Ornn upgrade so far, Rookie has gone ahead and buffed up Bolo Xiaowei's Divine Sunderer. Not too sure I agree on that one, with Mighty Action being so big, but...
Hamza's able to flash the collateral damage, but there's just too much from Xiaowei and Mighty Action. And what were we saying at 3 Barons? It's now 2.
Okay, but it is still 2. It's still some. Any more than 1, you're good to go.
What if it's just 1?
I mean, well, if
it's not bad.
Yeah, it's 1, it's still good. But then you can't get split push. But you're not getting split pushes here anyway, because... It's on the. It's not on someone with any TPs. But yeah, it was a bit of a rough couple of minutes for PFT. Oh, not for PFT, for CNT. And part of the issue here is that you look at PFT's comp. It's really good at kiting back. Really good.
Yeah.
You've got you know, Karthus and Thresh Aphelios. Yasuo kind of short range. Not so great when it comes to going forward, as J Chopper learned the hard way. You know, this Nocturne pick is not for the team fight later on. It's mostly to get stuff going early on and play to the Karthus level 6 spike. Yeah. We saw that when J Chopper ults in, no one can really follow up. He's a bit too keen on that, goes too deep, instantly gets popped. And then there's nothing coming out from Hamza and Reborn and Tsuchisawa. There's nothing they can do. But suddenly CNT run into them, you know, dashing forward, and Hamza puts out a huge amount of damage, gets 1 kill, gets another very low, and that's Baron. But if that's like, Rookie just starting a fight over nothing.
Full of Forge God with a 2-man knockup. Tsuchisawa getting poked down low, another Mystic Shot. True Shot Barrage does the work. And that's a pick for CNT. Now they can push forward in the mid lane and presumably secure this outer tower.
Yeah, pick that one up. Are they going to get any more time? As if you cannot be showing there. You don't have flash. You're just going to die.
What are you going to do? You might have an exhaust. You might have a chilling smite. But you will get run down. Moonlight Vigil comes through. But that on top of the Requiem is not even enough to prop the Dark Harvest stacks 4 times the starters.
You got 1, but who cares? Because now he doesn't have the Requiem on spawn.
Yep.
And J Chopper is definitely not looking for an ult anytime soon. But maybe in 30 seconds, you know, could it be different? When the Drake is up, Slimerzilla won't have his ult. This is what we mean about just dropping the ult for the sake of it. On top of that, he's got a Morello. He's the sole AP threat. If you want Grievous Wounds, Hamza has got a Hurricane. He's got a little turret. Hamza can be the one applying the Grievous Wounds. You could argue, oh, well, Karthus hits 5 people and has a damage over time effect. So leave it at just the orb. Like, you don't need the full Morello when you could be getting a Death Cam. You could be getting a Void Staff, you know?
Could be getting a Banshees with how much he's being caught out as well.
Getting a Banshees. Things like that, like, you can't show there, you can't throw Qs and CC yourself. And if you do, just run at them so at least the Defile does something, right? Because you're not outrunning that with no flash. Now they have no control of this bot side river. J Chopper is up in the top lane with the TP, but he doesn't actually have any mana. I think he's trying to hit level 16 off of this wave. We'll see if he does. Okay, he doesn't anyway. It doesn't matter. The Drake's just gone. Like, they're just giving up this Drake. No contest on that. And again, Drakes are pretty important for this team, but Time as a Third doesn't have ult. They can't really contest it.
Yeah, if PFT were able to stack up these Cloud Rings, that's some huge ultimate cooldown for Time as a Far and for Chopper as well. But now, as the case is, it's some pretty big cooldowns for Rookie, most specifically for Rookie with that call off the forward god, and then well, the movement speed not too huge for anyone with the exception of probably Ming in Mako, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the move speed's whatever. Oh, it's very nice for Mako. Yeah, and Ming it's kind of weird because there's a cooldown on that thing. Okay. On the Cloud Drake, so you don't just pop it every time when you have someone with a, you know, a small auto. Yeah, a small auto. But it's pretty nice just to have the haste reduced if you're Mako and Mitty action, because each time they have their ult, that's basically a kill. So you kind of just want to have the options open, you know. You're not going to sit there like, oh, my ult's not up for 15 more seconds, I'm going to go in. You just wait the 15 seconds, but it's nice to have the option, you know.
Like when you're applying for uni, right? You know, you want to have options. You don't want to get into it.
The secret to getting into uni is to just take a year out and then they take anyone if you've already got your results.
Yeah, true.
Unless you're going to, what you call it, like Oxbridge.
Then they're like, why did you take this year out?
Yeah, they're kind of madmen when they're like, ah, you took a year out. That must mean that you're so much more mature and you're not rushing into this and you've really thought it through. You must love uni. Love the idea. You definitely want to do this, right? And I'm like,
yeah.
Huh?
And I'm like,
meanwhile, J Chopper's
lights are out.
Going.
The Requiem, I think, is a little bit too early. A cleanse comes through and pop goes Chopper. And that's going to be Rookie teleporting up to the top side as well. I think he did that preemptively, but Chopper just not having the effect as Michael just gets absolutely blown apart. Call of the Forge God will come through. They're looking to potentially pick up Chopper as Rookie ults back in a completely different direction. Why, I do not know. That just going to get run down by the lethality of Mighty Action. And what can Hamza do? He's got to fight on two separate angles, but the exhaust is massive. Rookie, the next man, and Hamza's Aphelios is popping off the face of the earth. The Ming and Mighty Action, they're stuck on all corners. Reborn looking to go in, sweeps in again to pick up the double kill. And PFT are online. PFT get the ace, and PFT will take Baron.
And you can't run into this PFT comp. We said before, we'll say it again. J Chopper, let's be honest, bud, you sprinted it. It was a bit cringe, you know, just ults in with it. There's nothing up, no one nearby. You know, he's not getting a lantern out, and Hamza's at the red buff. And then that means that the Requiem gets used as well. The game should be over. Time as a Fur has no Requiem. J Chopper is dead. That's a 5 versus 4 on the Baron. If you are CNT there, you're just 5v4 the Baron, and nothing that PFT can do is going to stop that. They can't run at you. They can't get into the pit. You know, Time as a Fur doesn't even have flash to try and steal it. You just do the Baron. But they chase into the jungle. They chase into Hamza, you know, with his guns on the Aphelios. They chase into Reborn and into Time as a Fur, and just get absolutely minced for it.
Yep. I just want to say that timer exhaust, as the screen kind of freezes for us, but that exhaust from timer onto the Ezreal was so massive because Hamza was dead otherwise. Hamza was so dead, but it just gave him enough time just to heal up a little bit with the chakrams and the scythe pistol, as well as, you know, I'm guessing what would have been a little bit of healing from the bloodline route.
Meanwhile, I was looking at the other end of the fight, and I could have sworn that something exhausted Reborn, but oh yeah, well, it was Ming, right? Yeah, Ming exhausted. And that bought them so much time, and it's unfortunately wasn't quite enough because they, again, a bit far up, kind of overstayed on that one. But it nearly got Mighty Action. The other thing is, Mighty Action used his ult for like 200 damage, you know? I forget who it was that killed, but they were going to, I think it was Tsuchisawa, but they were going to die to one more auto. melee action ults it just to get it over faster, but then he doesn't have the ult when Reborn jumps on him. You know, he needs that self-peel, he needs the damage. It's not there, it means Reborn can kill him in the 1v2, even though he's been exhausted. So we need a little bit more resource management from both teams here, but the next big resource is the Drake. Coming up in just 20 short seconds. Level 18 on Timur and Reborn. We've got that third rank Paranoia as well. I think CNT aren't looking to just lose the game for this one. They'll be handing over the Drake.
Yeah, and while the Aphelios might not have good team fighting weapons, he's got great kick weapons with the Calibrum, and then he can just throw down the Binding Eclipse, shoot the barrage, wait it out fantastically from PFT. They pick up the Drake. It is 3 Drakes for both sides, and this is another 10% cooldown reduction on time as far as Zakata's weapon.
Imagine if you're Reborn and you see Bolo Xiaowei's items.
What are the items?
I feel like Bolo Xiaowei shouldn't have. I feel like he shouldn't have more health than J Chopper, but here we are. Pretty sure he does.
But also now, imagine if your time is a fight and you're looking at Brother Xiaowei's items.
Then you're kind of more okay with it. But he's still got a lot of health going for him. Got a lot of health either way. Yeah. But yeah, Bolo Xiaowei a little bit tankier than you might originally anticipate. But again, it's weird because Rookie and Mighty Action want the fast fight. Mako wants to go in and one-bang people, but then Bolo Xiaowei is like, no, I'm going to kite, I'm going to live forever. We're going to take it nice and slow, I'm going to ramp my Conqueror.
Going to learn how to fly. Sorry.
I'm sure that's a song.
Yeah. You said live forever, so I had to finish off the lyrics.
Alright, well, we've got 2 Guardian Angels, one for J Chopper, one for Reborn. Reborn also has that Death Stance. The Zhonya's is online for Time as a Four. This is looking like it's a hard to kill comp, right?
Yep.
And if you're playing versus these fellows. And now it gets difficult for CNT because the option before is like, okay, we just don't run into them, we'll just poke them. We have the Ezreal, we have the Karma. You know, it sucks to be Kiana. Sort of sucks to be Graves. But now there's a lot of healing as we've gotten later into the game, you know, for this CFT squad. We've got Alacrities are stacked up. There's enough tankiness on J Chopper and Reborn that they can just sort of soak poke to heal off of a wave, if that's something they want to do. And because of the slower build from Bolo Xiaowei, he's not bringing out as much damage when he goes for poke himself. Now making his way up towards the Cyrilda's Grudge, but yeah, if he had that instead of the Randuin's,
though, really? Like
Death Stance, GA, Zhonya's.
Wait, does it help against Death Stance?
Death Stance gives armor.
Yeah, Death Stance has armor. I mean,
Goes
it's
out
not
with
much,
chain
though.
vest.
Surely just pure damage is better for it. Or
I mean, it's one of the best damage items he's going to get. Yeah, Cyrilda's Grudge. Also, you have the perma-slow on your Qs, very nice. Cooldown reduction on it. But yeah, it gives a ton of armor pen. He's not... There's not that much of a better damage item for him. Mighty Action!
The death sentence is huge! Mighty Action is popped. Now the Paranoia has been drawn, and into the Orm they go. The call of the Fulge God. The God ain't answering your calls right now. And CNT, what do they do? Maiko goes in with the perfect set. Oh, pardon me. He goes in, but he just dies. Hamza cannot be killed right now. He's practically full build, and he's got Vampiric Scepter for some extra healing as well.
And that is not a supreme display of talent there for Mako. He misses it. Again, doesn't connect the stun. Mighty Action's so far up, dashing over blind even if he hadn't been hooked. He knew they were there. He had a ward, the ward on chickens. He saw that people are in that area.
Oh, that's a really good death sentence. Cleansed away by Xiaowei, but the tower is going to be full. So far goes Golden and Reborn.
Oh, Reborn!
The two-man knock up the Requiem. Dropped as well. And pop it goes Bolo Xiaowei. Another kill for PFT. And PFT are on the verge of taking us to game 3. They just need to hold steady for a little bit longer.
Lads, just give the tower. It's not that deep. We can let the tower go, we can let the inhib fall, but CNT overstaying, and that means they'll be losing the Baron as well. Mighty Action lurking around. Maybe he's trying to find someone to stop. Just cancels a recall with the smoke screen. stall out a bit of time, but now Drake in 50 seconds is something that everyone's going to need to be aware of. That was a soul for both teams. Not really a game-ending soul, but at the same time it is, because once the soul is taken... Oh, no, I mean, at this point, Timeless was never using his ult for poke, right? Even with three shards. Like, he can't afford to use his ult for anything other than the big team fights.
I meant it more in the sense that PFT can take fights more regularly because it's...
Oh, but they don't need to take fights more regularly. They need one fight to win the game. And the power of the soul, whatever. I think whoever is benefiting from that move speed will be in a situation where they're winning the fight anyway. It's kind of win more for them as well.
Oh my god!
Mega just gets one banged. Don't know, but...
He didn't even have that many chakrams going.
Oh, and now action as
god,
well.
Mighty! Oh, moonshot almost.
And there it is.
That's a Requiem. That's got him.
Okay,
now it's a 5v3.
I was going to say that the reason the Drake was the game ender was because if they fought through it, they could lose, and if they didn't, rookie buddy, if they didn't fight for it, Elder would be an option, but
yeah,
CNT...
I feel like this is it. This is over. The paranoia in. And now it's just a cleanup. This is just quite literally a formality for PFT. This is just PFT saying, look, we know how to auto-attack towers. We know how to auto-attack a Nexus to pick up a game. But for all purposes, this game is done. CNT, they look good in the opening game. They look good at the start of game 2. But PFT come back, and it's Hamza popping off on the Aphelios. He pops up some more. But it is PFT who take us to game 3.
And at the end of the day, PFT able to just clean through those fights and secure themselves the dub, evening up the scoreline in this best of 3 third place match. So we got a lot of games ahead of us. We got this game 3, and then we'll be heading into another best of 3 for our finals. So we'll be heading to a short break after this game. We'll head into a short break and look to get into that third map as soon as possible.
Yeah, we'll be back in about 15 minutes time for that final game, so stay tuned.